Week 4 of the fantasy football season. And here's a few kickers I look to drop this week. The first guy, Dustin Hopkins of the Los Angeles Chargers. So this Charger team, so far, it's been a little bit of a disappointment for them, 1-2 on the season here. And they're not scoring as many points as you think they will. I know Justin Herbert's banged up with the rib injury, and Keenan Allen's been out the last 2 weeks here. But Dustin Hopkins, he's not getting many opportunities. And he's a kicker right now you could shy away from, because there's a lot of decent kicking options on the waiver wire who've been putting up points and worth an ad over at Dustin Hopkins. Week 1 versus Vegas, a 40 to a 49-yarder with 3 extra points. Week 2 at Kansas City, a 30 to a 39-yarder with 3 extra points. And Week 3 versus Jacksonville, a 20 to a 29-yarder with an extra point. So the opportunities aren't there. This offense, they've been a little off over the last couple weeks here with the injury to Herbert, with Keenan Allen out. And right now, like I said, this team, they're not putting up a lot of points like you thought they would. But right now, I think Hopkins could bounce back. But this week at Houston definitely could have a good fantasy day. But the first 3 weeks, he's failed to reach double digits. And this Charger offense, we got to see what they do coming up. So right now, with good options out there on the wire, Hopkins is a kicker to drop this week. The next guy is Robbie Gould of the San Francisco 49ers. So right here, Gould still owned in 55% of fantasy leagues here, but he's had just mediocre ball games as well. Week 1 at Chicago, 20 to a 29-yarder with an extra point. Week 2 versus the Seahawks, a 29-yarder, 39-yarder, and 3 extra points. And Week 3 at Denver, that was just a struggle for both teams. Hit the 50-plus yarder with the extra points. So right here, Week 4 versus the Rams, it might be tough again for Gould to find some points in this game. This Ram defense is a bend-but-don't-break type of defense. But they're a defense so far that haven't made a lot of turnovers happen. But in this one versus Jimmy G, I think it's possible they could. So right now, with Robbie Gould failing to score double-digit fantasy points in the early going this season, he's a kicker I would drop. In this San Francisco 49er offense, we got to see what they're going to do, because Jimmy G's obviously not up to speed right now with this offense after really not having an offseason. So right now, while he's struggling and this offense hasn't done anything the last couple weeks here, he's a kicker to drop. And the third and final kicker I look to drop here is Nick Folk of the New England Patriots. And Nick Folk had a nice bounce-back game in Week 3 versus Baltimore with 10 fantasy points. But right now, we don't know who's going to be the quarterback over here in New England. Cam Newton, they're bringing in for a tryout. We know the veteran Brian Hoyer is the backup. But at this point in his career, is he really a guy you're going to count on to even get him field goal position at most times? And Week 4 here at Green Bay, this could be a tough offensive struggle for this Patriot team. And this Green Bay defense, they've been playing great football. They just came off a 14-12 victory of Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And what you think they're going to do with Lambeau Field versus this New England Patriot team? So this Patriot team, they're going to have trouble getting in the red zone, I think, a lot here. Nick Folk, so far, Week 1 in Miami, 1 fantasy point. Week 2 with Pittsburgh, 5 fantasy points. And yeah, Week 3 versus Baltimore at Gillette, he had a 39-yarder and a 50-plus yarder with 2 extra points. But right here, in a bad offense, tough matchup coming up, and we don't know who the quarterback's going to be for sure. He's a kicker I would shy away from with better options on the wire this week. So that's a few kickers I look to drop here for Week 4 of the fantasy football season.